What's up, guys? This is Sean, and welcome to another episode of the Heng podcast. And today we will answer a question from email, from Jenas Tan. Hi Sean, want to ask you a rather short question. Sincerely hope that you can answer mine. Couldn't find any answer elsewhere. Example, I bought a unit from a developer with the proposed layout. May I know, can I tell them not to build certain walls as we knew we are going to tear it down during renovation? I think like that is good for both parties as they can save material and manpower costs. I can save tearing down costs. Please advise. Thank you in advance, Jenas. Okay. A very short one, and I will answer in a longer form. Okay. Before whether you know or not you can tear down a certain wall, it depends. Number one, what kind of property is it? If it's landed and if it's high rise, okay? High rise, whether or not after you get the keys, you cannot tear it down. So I guess and I assume this is for a landed property. And for landed property, we will go and talk about the development process. So for developers to build a certain layout of house, what they will do is they need to submit several plans. Number one, they will submit this plan called the Development Order Plan, DO. So when they submit this DO, is to make sure that the masses, the number of units, and the infrastructure is catered to it. Is that in accordance to the direction of the local authority and etc.? Number two, then they will get BP plan, the building plan. So they will submit, and it's way more precise than the DO plan. And they submit all this, then only the building authorities will approve this plan. And this BP, after the approval, the exact same drawing must be included in the SPA, which means, in the drawing, let's say it's 3-bedroom. But when I build and I hand over the unit to you, it needs to be exactly the same. If one wall is missing, it's actually a breach of contract. That's why you can see a lot of people when after they hand over the unit to the owner, only the owner will tear it down. Unfortunately, it sounds kind of troublesome and double work, Again, it's the law. So I need to make sure that my part of the contract is actually honored where the product is handed over to you as per drawing and submission and authorities. So only whatever you do later is only up to you. And again, whether you want to tear down the wall or not, you will also need an approval from the local authority. I don't think a lot of people practice, but then you need to submit your renovation plan to the local authority, or you can actually ask for a standard renovation plan where most of the terrace house, what they want to do is they want to extend the kitchen because kitchens are just too short. They want to extend all the way to the boundary, and they don't want to extend the car porch. But whether to hack a wall or not internally, you need to make sure that you are actually tearing down the partitions out. So other things you need to consider about is the DLP, the defect liability period. Because once you tear down the wall, whatever defect liability or whatever warranty they call is no longer valid because you already altered the original condition of the house. So let's say in the future when you tear down, you see that start leaking or got crack, the developer is no longer viable because you already made rectification to the existing structure of the house. So those are things that you need to take into consideration. And I know it's rather easy for us to tell the developer, this house, you don't build this wall. But just imagine if a developer has 300 units. 300 owners comes to me with a certain customization of the house, then it will be a nightmare for the administration. Last time they used to practice this where I don't need to supply tiles to you. The customers will actually bring their own tile from China, from Italy, marble, whatever, and they actually hand over to site. So it adds on a lot of burden. But back in the days, these developers, they built way less units in comparison to the numbers that we have today. One go, a year they are building 30,000 units, 40,000 units, Hence, you look into the trend of landed properties, a lot are building only the necessary walls, which means they are building less walls, and it's easier for people to add on walls in comparison to tearing down walls. So the modern and the more innovative developers are doing that, where they just build the minimal just for the house to stand, and whatever partition in the house is actually up to the owner itself. Then on the other side, a lot of people also consider number of rooms before they buy a property, and that is a problem also where that's why as a developer, you want to think about how people buy, then how people want to renovate, and they want to cater to every individual on their customization, but they also want to have the mass production to drive down costs. So that's your answer in conclusion. Thank you very much for the short question, and I hope this short answer will actually help you. And for those who still have any other questions regarding real estate, do just email me at taniherng@gmail.com. I guess that's about it for this round. Thank you very much. See you guys on the next one. Ciao.